So, President Ramaphosa just responded back to Afrikaner movement known as AfriForum, which recently just visited the United States of America. I don't want to say much. I want you first to have a listen to what President Ramaphosa have said, then I'll be back with more analysis.
And AfriForum to meet his representatives.
Well, I do believe, I've heard that AfriForum in Solidarity have met representatives in the US government, and they're doing precisely what we said we as South Africans should not do. We should stop running to other countries. We should discuss our own problems here and find solutions. And that in many ways confirms our own sovereignty. It confirms our standing as a free and independent nation. A nation that can stand proud amongst many other nations and being able to say, we can solve our own problems. We may differ here, but we will find solutions to whatever problems we have. And we have the wherewithal to be able to do that. So I would say we stay here, we solve our problems here, and we embrace one another, and we build a nation. We will never be able to build a nation by just going to complain to other nations in the world. That's how we solve problems.
How do you respond to that?
Well, there are people who are saying that, something needs to be done to them and all that. And I would say that we need to be sending a clear message to them that as far as we are concerned, as proud South Africans, we prefer that we should all stay here and solve our problems. And already what they are doing has spawned divisions in our nation. And that is not a nation building process of running around the world to try and have your problem solved. You are just sowing divisions. Because now a number of South Africans then start looking at others negatively. And I don't think that is the right way to handle our problems.
Okay, last question.
With that being said, I think now we need to have a conversation. Guys, I have these questions which has been disturbing me for some times now since this whole scenario has took place between the USA with Donald Trump and South Africa, where we get to see how Elon Musk gets to influence the politics of the America in order for Donald Trump to come in. So I'm left only with one question which come more often in my mind. I want to know, what does Afrikaners want exactly? Why do they think that they're the only victims? Why do they really want to always play the role of them becoming victims when the real victims of whatsoever happened bad in South Africa, they are so quiet out there? Is this a sign of showing how guilty these people they are? Is this a sign of them showing that they are now losing power to black South Africans who are now taking control of everything? Because I really don't understand. Like, you heard President Ramaphosa, who's very clear in his message. Like, he had called them in the previous speech which he gave in the Senate. President Ramaphosa was very clear. He said, if there is any problem, you don't need to go somewhere else. You must come here. Let us sit as South Africans and have a solution. The problems which concern South Africans should be discussed among South Africans. But why AfriForum with Afrikaners, they are trying to play the role of being stubborn by going to the USA after refusing the so-called free visa or refugee status which Donald Trump had given to them? They reject it. They did not want to take it. Yet they are now busy going to the US in order for them to go and do certain kind of lobbyings over there. And they kind of like going first to congratulate Donald Trump for supporting them. And the next things now, they are asking a certain kind of security in order for them to protect themselves. To protect themselves against who? To protect themselves against their so own people, which are South Africans? I think there's a problem here. And it needs a serious attention. We should not see these things as something small. If you've been watching me for some times, you will totally agree with me. I have said it before, couple of times, that these people, they are up to something. And I have said this from the moment when John Steenhuisen, the current president of DA, had announced on how he's going to take Julius Malema to the International Criminal Court and also the ANC of Cyril Ramaphosa, because they've been accusing the ANC, saying that it is all thanks to the ANC that the one who've been giving the wings to Julius Malema for whatsoever they've been accusing him for. But me, I have gone through very far with my analysis by telling you guys that no, this is not that simple as it seems to be. These people, they're up to something. They want to divide South Africa. You need to open your mind for you to understand what I'm telling you. Guys, these people, they can tell already that soon or later, the true freedom, whether it is economically, whether it is physically, whether it is morally or mentally, when the South Africans, they are going to free themselves from all this. And these people, they know very well that the day when these things have to happen, they will no longer have that, should I say what, that opportunity for them to remain in the same positions like they are doing right now. And they want to look like they are the victims, the minority victims. And I have told you the risk of them going to the International Criminal Court, to the UN. These world organizations, they always stand for the minority. Trust me. In many cases around the world. See what is happening in Taiwan. Do they stand with China? No. They stand with Taiwan, even though Taiwan seems to be having some kind of like wiring complications relationship between Taiwan and China. These people will always go for minority. And what they'll do, they'll end up approving that minority to become a country. And I have told you before that if this case have to reach to the International Criminal Courts, what will happen from these people is that they'll acknowledge them. And once they acknowledge them, they'll kind of like look where they are more based. Where do they live? Where do they do their things? And they'll see if they are located in Durban, which means that area, it's going to belong to them. And they'll give them that power and say that from now on, this is your part of your country. If they are located in Cape Town, obviously they're going to do the same thing. And this is the plan these people, they have. They're kind of like trying to target Cape Town so that it will become their own country. Open your eyes for you to understand. They have said these things before. In less than 2 years, look where we are now. From where things used to be yesterday, look where we are now. Especially now that they're having their highlights inside the White House, which is Elon Musk. I'm telling you guys, these people, they're up to something. Because if they were not up to something, when Donald Trump announced to them and said that, guys, I want you to come to the USA, I'm going to give you the refugee status. That was a very good opportunity, which they will have just take it and go already if they want to go. Because we all know that the USA visa is not something like everyone can just have it that lightly. You need to deserve it for you. You need actually to be qualified in order for you to have it. But surprisingly, they refused to take the USA refugee status. They said that we are good. We want to remain in South Africa. So they kind of like rejecting Donald Trump offer. Yet they are kind of like going back to the same place, to the same man, and start doing certain kind of lobbyings. Not for them to go there and, for example, asking Donald Trump to remove the sanctions, the cutting of funds which they have done so far in South Africa. No, they are going there actually to go and represent themselves in order like Donald Trump, if you have to sanction South Africa, if you have to cut funds on South Africans, they should do it on black South Africans and not on them. They are going there to ask for the security. They're asking for America to protect them. On what? Against who? Obviously, because they have things which they are telling Americans that, look, we still want to be in Africa. We want to live over there, but the only things we're asking from you is for you guys to acknowledging us. That is something which they've been saying for some times now. They want to be acknowledged. But I asked myself this question to know, when they're talking about them being acknowledged, who does not know the existence of these people? I believe we all know who they are. We know how they arrive in, what they have done, and what they are doing. So this kind of acknowledge, they are keeping on insisting, asking for everyone, or especially the government of South Africa, to acknowledge them. What kind of acknowledge are them referring to? If it is not them wanting the government of South Africa to give them the land for free, the land which have to be proclaimed as their own land, where they'll do everything they want to do. Do you guys see what is happening in Orania? That is the same thing these people, they want. They actually kind of wanting to enlarge that Orania territories. They want to make it become even the city, or maybe a town which belongs to them only. So they're kind of like asking for land in South African land, or in South Africa soil. That is the simple things, simple mathematics, for you guys to understand exactly what these people they are up to. They're kind of like wanting to take the land which belongs to black South Africans by force. But since they failed for all these years, now they want to use the international criminal courts, to use the White House with their puppets, people who are over there, to kind of like make themselves look like they are the victims, so that these people will feel pity for them, and the next things they'll have to come and acknowledge them by giving them the land and say that from now on Cape Town belongs to Afrikaners. From now on Pretoria belongs to Afrikaners. That's what they want. That is the simple mathematics which is happening, because as I said, Trump offered them to go to America. They refused. But the least they would have done was for them to show how much they love this country by doing the right things, to first go and tell Trump that, no, look, you don't need to cut funds, because this fund, it does not only treat black South Africans, but it also treats us. Secondly, we thank you for everything, but we still gonna solve this problem among ourselves as South Africans. That is how you make yourself be known out there as a sovereign country, but they are failing to do so. And that's a very big regret. That's the reason why you even saw President Ramaphosa in the footage I just played for you is kind of like regretting, because they are doing exactly what he had forbid them to do. They are going out there and then they are asking Trump for help. Do you know what does that mean? It's kind of like you are trying to humiliate your own father, your own mother. You are taking their clothes off in front of everyone. Because this is, we all know that Trump is kind of like threatening up the sovereignty of South Africa, for the fact that South Africa went all the way to ICJ to bring Benjamin Netanyahu and Israel. And today, as we are talking right now, Benjamin Netanyahu is under the, is a wanted man by the ICJ, yeah, International Court of Justice or something like that, yeah. So this man being wanted by these people, it's not something which is going to be easy for America, because if you have to be found guilty in this court, America will have also to pay a very high price on it, because they are the mastermind behind whatsoever has been happening in the Middle East. And them being found guilty is going to damage also their reputation. And remember, I always tell you every time, guys, that these people, they like to look saints. They like to look like a fine example for everyone out there. And whatsoever they are committing as a crime, whatsoever they violate as a human right, they don't want everyone to know about it. Because if people have to pay attention to that, it's going to really destroy them. And seeing the South Africa taking Benjamin Netanyahu to justice, that's something that was not sitting okay with them. So therefore, they kind of like angry. They kind of like trying to see on which way they can try to punish South Africa. So with all this conflict going on, AfriForum with Afrikaners, they should have at least show how South Africans they are. Because when you listen to them when they are talking, they continue to claim that they are part of Africa. But Africa, you are being attacked. Someone come from outside, putting the fire inside your house. Instead of you trying to save your family, no, you are leaving your children and everyone in the house, which is burning, for you to go and attack someone else out there. That does not make sense. That's why I ask a question to know, what does AfriForum want exactly? And the answer to that is that they are up to something very big. The offer which Donald Trump had given them of giving them the American refugee status, it's not enough for them, because it is nothing compared to what they want. These people, they want the land, and the land which they want this time is not this small land that you guys will see from Free State or somewhere in Mpumalanga or where. No, they want a land whereby they'll declare one of the South African province to become their country. That is the simple mathematics these people, they are up to, and they are busy doing the lobbyings over it. If South Africans don't open the eyes right now, guys, one day we're still here. You're gonna come and tell me that I was right about this, because I'm more familiar with this kind of people, with this kind of behaviors. Once this matter starts reaching the International Criminal Court, the United States of the United States and the United Nations, well, trust me, sooner or later, you guys are gonna see what will come out as the decision. So let's wait and see. Maybe things will change around, but it's very pity to see people who claim themselves to say that they are South Africans, yet they want bad things to happen to South Africa. It's very pity. Guys, give us your thoughts in the comment section. Tell us also what you think about what Afrikaners want exactly from all this. We're looking forward to see your comments on this. So like this video in your numbers. I'll see you again in our next video very soon. For now, continue to be yourself, be good, be kind, have respect for everyone in order for you to be respected. May God bless you all. I'll see you again very soon in our next video. Ciao, ciao.